Good, fun to get out here and let them play. We've started Wednesday, so a week and a half ago or so. We've been rolling, and everything's kind of there's restraints and constraints on everything you do as far as your tempo practice and thud and tracking and shorts or vests, whatever the situation is. You get 2 live scrimmages, in preseason. So really tried to treat it like a preseason game. That's just kind of what I was trying to create mentality-wise. Headsets, and then ACC officials, everything, and just really try to call it as strict as we could call it. Today was a fun day as far as being able to go play. Without it's all right. We're 2nd and 8, and we're playing 3rd day. And creating situations and thud in the box, tracking on the back, whatever it is. This is live. Go play, and it's a different world. When I was playing, it was every day was live, and they had to tell you, hey, it's not live. Now you got to say it's live. So it's such a different world for these guys, and so it's a challenge because you gotta take advantage of your opportunities, and so we had a certain amount of plays we wanted to get, and lots of different situations. Mostly good on good. I think I mixed it up one time where we went 1s on 2s, but the rest was good on good the whole day. And trying to hit all the different field zones from backed up, middle field, red zone, 1st and 9 on the 9, play it out, goal line, short yardage. We hit it all today. And only thing we didn't do was 2-minute. We did that yesterday, and then we'll get that next week live. But usually this scrimmage is usually a day that the defense kind of owns the day. That's kind of been probably in my history, that's probably the way it's been. But that wasn't the case today, and I honestly I kind of saw that coming. I told the defense, I'm really. It was very competitive. Defense did a lot of good things. They had a couple nice turnovers. Kuba had a pick. RJ had a pick. We did throughout all 3 groups. We had a few sacks, but good on good. It was incredibly competitive, and very encouraged by what I see with our guys up front and offensive line. And I think all they hear and read is how bad they are, and it's just the opposite on the other side. All they hear and read is how great they are, and I think you saw the result of that today. I definitely think the offensive line won the day in the trenches today, which is good to see. Good for both sides. Very competitive. Love how our backs ran the ball. All the backs had some big plays. Made some big plays in the passing game. Really pleased with DJ. He had one mistake. Cade had one critical mistake. We had some guys, make plays. Really, I think we had one drop the whole day. Guys made plays, with each group. But just a very, you wish you were playing somebody else because it's a double-edged sword for me. If the punters, if you had great punt, but your punt return was excellent, well, that meant your punt coverage wasn't very good, right? So it's like, all right, it's a double-edged sword. You're happy, but then you're mad. So very competitive day. I'm really pleased with the effort. A lot on tape that we can teach from, and if we get better from it, 3 weeks from tomorrow, we're loading the bus to go to Atlanta. So we're not ready to play right now, but I do think we're heading in the right direction with a lot of positive things, and feel really good about what I'm seeing, in all areas. But this is a bunch that'll compete. It's a physical group, and we got to clean up some discipline things. We did have some penalties in the red zone. We had a couple of offsides. We had a big play on a 3rd down for a 1st down, and we got a guy that lined up on the line and covered up my tight end and get an ineligible downfield, called back. We got a 4th and inches on the defense and goes for a 40-something yard touchdown because we didn't contain. So there's just a lot of discipline things that showed up today that we gotta clean up. The number one thing we talk about all the time is don't lose to Clemson. And we'll have a little list of those things and what that means today. So special teams wise, really pleased with BT. He's had a great camp. Robert has had a great camp, but I thought he that's why we come over here. It's just different, even though it's a lot of concrete looking at you. It's just a different vibe. And he finished well, but I thought he had his worst day. And he's been really good. He's a very, very talented kicker. But man, continue to be incredibly pleased and encouraged with our punters. Aiden has had about 4 days in a row really, really doing a nice job for us. Worked on all open field, worked on punting, off the goal line, backed up back at the goal line, and really pleased with our punters. Jack's starting to make a lot of progress. BT's been very steady there, so I think it's we're in a good spot. We've got 2 guys that can really bomb it, as far as kicking it out of the end zone, and BT and Gunn. So special teams wise, pretty good day. I thought our kick return and punt return was really good. Now again, disappointing thing with that is, I wasn't very pleased with our kick coverage and punt coverage. So, but it's good to get it all on tape and coach off of it and go from there.
Coach, is there anything in particular you learned from your team today?
What's that?
Is there anything in particular you learned from your team today?
I think this is a tough group, man. I thought they would be a physically tough group, but until you really go play and you really turn it loose, the game's just different. When it's all on your feet, thud type contact. It's physical, but it ain't like this. And we got a tough group. We got a tough group, both sides of the ball, and so I'm pleased with that. And I think I got confirmation on that today.
Come out of the scrimmage pretty injury-free?
I think so. I'm not sure. Pat will give me a report. I think we might have one guy maybe just go off, look like he may have hurt his ankle, but I couldn't tell. But he jogged off, But I think other than that, I think I only saw one guy. So we'll see.
Dabo, how much experimenting is Thomas doing with the offensive line, like Walker, playing some guard, things like that?
Well, we're just trying to get the best 5. That's as I told y'all earlier, we got to find out who's the best 5. Who's 6, who's 7, who's 8. What we kind of build it from there. But Walker, it's really not about Walker as it is Blake Miller. Who's the 5th best guy? Is it Blake? We know Walker's in there. Is it Blake? Is it Tucker? Mitchell's been out. He'll hopefully be back Monday. He hadn't been able to practice most of the week. In protocol, so he'll be back Monday, ready to go. But so is it Blake? Is it Mitchell? Is it Sadler? Is it who is it? Who's the 5th best guy? And depending on who that is it Dietrich? Who's the 5th best guy? We got flexibility, and if it means moving Walker to guard, if Blake's the 5th best guy and he's more comfortable at tackle right now, then that's what we do. So Walker's a natural, man. I mean, he can play anywhere you want to play. He's a really, really good football player. And so, yeah, we've mixed it up as far as who the first 5 is. I think today he kept it fairly consistent. And, but we got a good idea, as far as the guys that we think will be ready to play. I mean, I really feel good about our group. I think we're still trying. Who's that first 5? Because there's competition for that. I think that's great. But 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, I think we got 11 and a half guys that I would trust pretty good right now. And hopefully by the time we get to game day, we'll be maybe 12 or 13. It's just it's a much more veteran group. We've got 2 true freshmen in Blake and Colin, and both of those guys are going to help us. I can tell y'all right now, they're both going to play. They're both going to help us. They've proven that. Been here since January. They're ready. And the rest of those guys, Tristan and Dietrich and Limpicum, even though they're redshirt freshmen, I mean, they're going on year 2. They're just more mature. We're just in a better place with those guys to go along with that 3rd-year sophomore group and juniors, and J-Mac. So just more functionality, more competition, more guys that are capable of competing, and that's making us better. So
Same question in regards to your wide receiver group. Who was that with?
yeah, really, the receivers have been really good. I mean, I'm super pleased with our group. Bo's been out a few days. EJ's, hopefully be back running around Monday, ready to go. But so the encouraging thing is Bo and EJ have been out all week. Both of them off to a great start in camp, and both will be back, soon. But it's allowed us to really challenge some other guys, and really pleased again with EJ how he came out of camp, and he had a little issue. He made a great catch and came down funny and kind of had a hematoma or whatever that thing's called. But he'll be fine. Same thing with Bo. Bo's doing well, but it's allowed us to get a lot of work to these other guys. And man, God has been awesome. I know how many times you heard me say that. He made a couple big plays today. And he's just been a great leader for us. It's been really fun to see. So, I just really happy for him, and hopefully he can stay the course. Spector's been awesome. This time last year he couldn't walk up these steps, and he ain't missed a rep. I mean, he's been awesome. And the kid hasn't played in 2 years. He's just a really veteran guy. He's got a great mindset. Really pleased with him. Dakari had a couple of nice plays. I mean, Dakari started a lot of games last year along with Bo. So got all those guys back. Again, we'll get DJ and Bo back. But Will Taylor and Drew and Antonio, Cole Turner. I mean, this kid is he's got unbelievable long-term potential. I mean, he could help us this year. I'm hoping we don't have to have him, but he's making it hard on us. Makes plays every day. Had two big plays today, and he gets yards after contact. He's strong, he's fast, but he touches it, he catches it, and he's just got a unique knack for finishing plays. So it's a really good group, and we're gonna get Adam Randall back soon. I mean. So we got I just love how it's coming together, and we're building a lot of confidence in a lot of areas. So we just got more depth than we've had there in a long time, and we're heading in the right direction.
Troy Stellato.
Stellato's out. Stellato tore his ACL. So he had a couple good days, but just like all these other injuries, and unfortunately that's kind of been his story really since he's got here to this point. Is he's been injured. He's not been a guy that's really been available very much from the day he got here. He's had a lot of deals, and I thought he finished spring really well, showed some things, and then he had 2 good days in a row, taking advantage of his opportunity. So it's just another setback for him. But he's a redshirt freshman. It's frustrating, but so I told him, I just tried to encourage him. I mean, look at Spector, he played 2 years, and here he is. He's still got 4 years left, because he redshirted, and if you redshirt and then you lose another season due to injury, you automatically get that year. So he's still got 4 years left starting next year. It's all in front of him. We had a guy come speak to the team the other day, Inky Johnson. I don't know if you've heard of him, and he's paralyzed from the arm down. He's paralyzed on the whole right side. And we just talked about having good perspective. I mean, they're not going to cut his leg off. He's going to come back. He's got some great examples on this team. It's frustrating because the time he stinks and wants to play. But it's just a part of his story. And again, just planted and cut. I mean, y'all saw Will Taylor last year. Just nobody even touched him, and that's kind of how most of these things happen, unfortunately. But so we'll attack his rehab and get him back, this spring ready to go. And again, he's got his whole future in front of him and going to be a really good player. But fortunately, from a depth standpoint, it's a position we've got depth, and and we're really fortunate with that. But you hate to lose anybody, especially a kid that you really see making some progress, and he's been through a lot. But again, he's got to keep grinding and keep his perspective and his attitude right. Focus on the long term.
When did that happen?
Yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
How about John Williams?
He's good. John's good. He had a little. I think he had like a little cyst, and he had to get cleared up. But he's good.
Can you expect Bo back?
Soon. I mean, he's doing really good. We're being cautious with him. You know, he just kind of fell on his shoulder and had a pretty good bruise there. So, you know, just not getting any contact, but his range of motion is great, and he's doing well. So we'll probably hold him, you know, through next week, and then hopefully, you know, get him back going as we get into those last couple weeks.
As a head coach, you want to see all three phases do well. But after last season's struggles, DJ and the offense, does it tickle you a little bit to see him come out and kind of win the day out here?
Heck yeah! I mean, shoot, we were a mess, and you know, just to see the confidence and guys making plays, and just, you know, seeing the knowledge being, you know, applied. You know, they're taking it from meeting rooms and they're applying it, but just the chemistry. You know, again, those first 7-8 offensive linemen, you know, have a lot of good chemistry. You know, and we've got some flexibility. And then those backs, our tight ends, you know, the receivers are making plays, and all of that. What does all that do? Everything around the quarterback. What does that do? Does that make the quarterback better or worse?
Better.
Exactly. When all that ain't good, does it make the quarterback better or worse?
Worse.
Worse. Exactly. This ain't rocket science. And it affects their confidence and all those things. And then, you know, quarterbacks start trying to do too much, and then it's because the quarterbacks get all the blame. They get all the credit too. It's fun to see our quarterbacks, you know, starting to just have a little calmness to them, because we're just better around them. You know, we're better around them. We're playing physical, and it's good to see, man. You know,